Dune Part 2 is an amazing movie. Now, it might not be as good as The Marvels or Madam Web or Strange Worlds. Those films are real cinema. No, I'm just kidding. You think I'm being serious? In fact, Dune 2 is an amazing movie, one of the best of the year so far. Now, I won't be that film bro saying Dune 2 is one of the best of all time. Yeah, it's an amazing sci-fi film, and as far as modern blockbusters go, it's certainly up there. There aren't films made for audiences like this, on this scale, on this level, with these types of production values every day. I mean, these films take time to make. They take really passionate filmmakers and a great crew to make something like this. You don't just get something like this. Everything in this is almost perfect, from casting to cinematography to production design to direction to its score, sound, story, how it balances tone, its plot, its humor. It's incredible how Dune 2 positions itself as a movie to be seen on the biggest screen possible, and I'm so happy it's gained an audience. The first film came out in 2021 after being delayed nearly a year due to the ongoing pandemic. And really, the movie did surprisingly make waves. It was an incredible film. A great piece of storytelling. However, compared to Dune 2, it is slower, and it does have less action, less meat on its bones, so to speak. I still think Dune 1 is incredible storytelling, both visually and through its plot. You know, until Dune 2 came out, I literally remember rewatching the first one over and over and thinking this is just a great film. And I really do love the story. It's a classic. I've, in a way, loved the David Lynch version from the 80s, as silly as it is, but the movie is ingrained in my memory. So the fact that we got Dune 2 and I just instantly thought, wow, like this is crazy better. There's something about Dune 2, right from its opening scene, that immediately hooks you. It immediately lets you know this is going to be an awesome space opera, something even the most recent Star Wars films couldn't do. Now, that franchise has kind of gotten stuck in a ditch, where Disney really just cares about plumping out lore and series and products even if they don't look good or feel right. Warner Brothers lets director Denis Villeneuve take his time to split one of the most revered, dense, and complex science fiction novels into an epic two-part story. And boy, does the second part hit even harder, kind of like The Dark Knight or The Empire Strikes Back. Although I will be honest, I am a Batman Begins fan all the way, but I digress. It's no secret the first Dune kind of was a sleepy movie. I mean, I thought it was really good, but it really did take its time. It was slow. A great film, but a slower film that even most audiences now aren't clamoring back to. I mean, everyone was so excited for Spider-Man No Way Home, which came out a month after Dune 1, even though it looks and feels like a video game cutscene by comparison. People want action. They want to watch a big movie. They want to watch big stars doing big things. They want to see a big story with big sound and big visuals. And Dune 2 delivers. What I really think is the most impressive thing here is, from a pure storytelling element, how wonderful it is. There's terrific merging of visuals and sound, which is key to making a memorable film experience, and that's what the filmmakers dial in on. Hans Zimmer's score, the eerie, otherworldly alien sound design, the beautiful way this movie's lit, how the desert planet looks and feels like another world with its orange and glowing red and bright yellow hues, from the eerie, violent Harkonnen planet with its black and white cinematography and near alien score. It's like something you don't ever get. Most movies now just throw on a classic theme and call it a day. They just care about callbacks and cameos and references to characters, or even references to music cues, but Dune 2 builds its world from the ground up, and in doing so creates one of the most immersive studio films in recent memory. What's interesting to me is how simple the story really is, but it tells its plot on such a grand scale, it feels so much more heavy. You can feel the weight, you can feel the characters, and a big part of this is the visual effects. And I mentioned lighting and sound and cinematography, but the way it's put together, the visuals and effects are simply incredible. Most Marvel films consist of actors standing in front of a screen, and you can often tell with those glossy digital backgrounds, the way the actors don't really pop against the backgrounds they're standing in. And in Dune 2, they certainly do use this effect. They use blue screen or green screen, but it's used sparingly and effectively. And most of the scenes are actually shot in the desert or on sound stages with whole massive productions built just for the film. And it shows. I mean, the scale of this is epic, and you can tell it's not just a green screen background with a couple practical cars thrown in. I mean, you can tell when you're watching No Way Home or Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness that they just shot in a bubble, in a vacuum, in a soundstage. It's just so not the same thing here. You can see the giant underground cave sieges with flowing water wells, large Imperium palaces, gladiatorial battle arenas, futuristic massive spice harvesters and tankers, evil Harkonnen war command ships. It's all there. It's all fully realized. You aren't just watching actors stand in front of a screen. You get to see everything in its vast, baroque, yet minimalist beauty. And a lot of this is shot in the real elements too, outdoors in gardens in Italy, in the deserts of Abu Dhabi, near the oceans. I mean, I'd rather watch actors interacting on giant rolling sand dunes and interact with real environments than watch them stand in front of a blue screen. It just looks so different from the way it's shot and composited. Dune 2 is simply amazing, and that's not just it. From epic storytelling perspective, it's amazing. I think a lot of people can crap on modern blockbuster movies because they have too many quips and humor, and well, some of them do, but Dune 2 balances its humor perfectly. There really isn't that much of it, but there's just enough to break up the more serious moments and inject some levity, and you're seeing this with the crowd. It's fun, honestly, when you're watching this, and you have everyone kind of laughing at some parts, all in unison, and other times everyone's just standing in silence and watching this amazing movie. I mean, Stilgar's a perfect character for the humor. He's even spawned a meme without the film really having him heavily leaning on him for humor. It's just the right amount. And I think the problem with most movies now is they spend so much time setting up their universes or promising things in sequels to come, and I'm not kidding. Dune does this. It does sort of set up a sequel. I mean, the first one ended with Zendaya saying, "This is only the beginning," and it kind of leads into a third film. I mean, this one kind of leads into a third film. It kind of hints at it near the end, but the key difference between this and most modern superhero blockbusters is this can exist on its own, and it works. It functions as its own whole epic movie, and that's all you need. And also, it's a really great PG-13. I mean, it's really heavy and dark, but still, surprisingly, it's PG-13. It's a movie you could take your little brother to. It's a movie you could see with friends, your family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Adults could see it. Younger kids who probably prefer The Mandalorian could see it, and hopefully still will be impressed. What I mean by this is it's an impressive PG-13 because it's really dark, and it's really well cut and edited. You know, there's a lot of dark, nasty, brutal stuff even. Stuff that could be Game of Thrones level violence back when people used to like Game of Thrones. But the way this movie is cut and shot, it really doesn't show you any of that brutal stuff. It cuts right before someone gets flamed or stabbed or beat to death. They show you just enough, but not enough to make it dark and R-rated. And that, to me, is impressive. The first Dune was like that too, and I think it's a great example of how you can darken the tone of the film without sacrificing too much or making it too much for children. There's still ways to make your movie for all audiences while retaining those elements that make it what it is. A dark, epic story about conquest for power and the rise of a literal Jesus figure who rises against the dark power seekers. Dune 2 also, as I mentioned, has an incredible cast. It really takes advantage of the stars it has, and they all do an incredible job. Most people want to see a movie because the actors are in it who they know. You know, not a lot of people go to see a movie because they are into movies. I feel very few people read movie critiques or watch in-depth movie analyses. They see a billboard, they see an ad on TV, they see a friend or coworker talking about it and recommending it to them, and they go to see it. Or they see a movie because they know the actors are in it, and this is no short of great actors. So I think there's more of an appeal in seeing a movie where you kind of know everyone who's in it, and here you get that. Hey, look, it's Drax. Hey, look, it's Thanos. Hey, look, it's Ilsa Faust from Mission Impossible. Hey, look, it's Oppenheimer's spicy girlfriend. Hey, look, it's Elvis. Hey, look, it's Willy Wonka. Hey, look, it's MJ. Hey, look, it's you kind of get what I'm saying. You get the point. What the movie does that's so great is it brings them all so you can only recognize them as characters in this film. It isn't some Netflix original where the actors are just getting a check to spout out a couple lines and act like themselves. No, you're totally immersed into this world, and that's part of the experience. Timothée Chalamet is Paul Atreides. Rebecca Ferguson is Lady Jessica. You just get to experience that. I mean, Josh Brolin, who's now known for being in a ton of movies, especially Thanos, I mean, he is Duncan Idaho. You just can see them as these characters. You don't see them as anyone else. And Dune 2 feels different because it is different. It works because it soars. It's an incredible movie because it makes you feel like what you paid for was worth the price of admission. I mean, I saw Blade Runner 2049 in theaters once, and I know everyone says they wish they could see it again in IMAX. I really do. That movie to me is an experience, one you don't quite watch. You feel it emotionally, physically, you connect with it. You exist in that world for the 3 hours you spend immersed in it. And Dune 2 is the same way. It builds up its whole world. Even characters who are only in this for a brief moment have their impact because of how they are paced in the story. Blade Runner was the same way. Characters may be in it briefly, but they build up the momentum and leave an impact near the end. Overall, I thought this was a great movie, and I'm very excited for Dune Messiah, which was just announced. So I think we should enjoy this Dune, the next one that comes out after it, before they end up milking this like The Matrix and turning into a whole franchise, which, I don't know, we'll see if they get a really passionate director, but right now, I'm thinking these 3 films are going to be amazing. But really see Dune 2 if you can, if it's still playing in a theater near you. It's a treat to see in IMAX. Watching it at home just does not make the same difference. Seeing a movie with a crowd is amazing. Seeing a film that's great with a crowd is even more amazing. I mean, the people next to me were falling asleep at the 10 o'clock showing I went to, but I was fully immersed, and I've already seen this movie twice. So guys, thank you for watching, and let me know what you think of Dune 2, and definitely enjoy it. Long live the fighters.